The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hey guys, it's JD. What you're about to hear is the live show that we did at Animarathon, which is a anime convention that's held at my old college. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out to the panel. I hope you had a good time, and hopefully you found something on the channel that you like, and stick around. But to everybody else, hope you enjoy the show. Alright guys, thank you for coming to the first ever live recording of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. I take it none of you guys here probably even heard of us, so just to let you know a little bit about ourselves. We are a weekly animation podcast. You can follow our social links up there on the screen. We mostly host it on YouTube because hosting podcast audio is expensive, so I'm still working on that part. So yeah, every week we do reviews, retrospectives about old and current stuff. Like we reviewed the Lego Movie a couple weeks ago. We just talked about some old animated Hellboy films last week. So we've done
like Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, we covered
Digimon.
The Digimon Tri movies that came out the last couple years. We've done a lot of that. So we kind of cover a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's something on there that you guys would find of interest. I think we did Steven Universe back when the big event
did Western and Japanese stuff.
So we've done all kinds of stuff. So my name is JD. I'm the usual host of the show. My usual co-host is Kyle, but unfortunately he lives out in California and could not be. I wasn't going to drag him all the way out here.
I'm second best, I guess.
Yeah. So this is my other heterosexual life mate, Melanie, my wife.
That's a weird term.
I know, right?
I've never been called that before.
Right? I have her on the show periodically because she makes for...
I like to sometimes give the female perspective of things.
Yeah, there you go.
Like on Valentine's Day, we do a husbando special.
We did that once.
So, yeah, it was great. So, like, me and a couple of my gal pals got on and talked about all the, like, animated boys we would totally bone.
To counterbalance the cringy waifu
it was
episode
good stuff.
before.
We got, like, Samurai Jack in there.
Oh, yeah, all kind of good stuff.
All the guys.
So we were trying to think of a good topic for an anime convention, and I thought... I really like the movie Summer Wars, and I was like, this guy has a lot of different films. She really likes Wolf Children, and I'm like, oh, it's the same director. Mm-hmm. My mom's out there. Never mind. So we both like that same director, and it's like, oh, we should just talk about his entire filmography. So we're going to be talking about Mamoru Hosoda?
Mamoru Hosoda.
Hosoda,
yeah,
okay.
It's a weird
I never
name.
remember his name.
Or is it? It's Mamoru. Mamoru Hosoda.
Okay. So I know him mostly because I was really into Digimon as a kid. And I watched that cringe fest that was the Digimon movie came out in theaters.
Cringe fest.
But I really like, I guess it'd be the second part of that movie, the one where Omnimon and Diablomon are showing down. And I'm like, I really like how different it was stylistically, how differently it was paced from the show. And later in life, I watched Summer Wars and like, this looks like, this storyline is eerily familiar. The art style is eerily familiar. Come to find, it's the same guy. Even found out he's worked on a couple different episodes of the show. So he's very intertwined with Digimon, which was, a childhood.
I discovered last night that he's like actually directed a bunch of really random episodes. He did like a Sailor Moon episodes.
He's worked on One Piece,
Do-Re-Mi, and like a bunch of random stuff. Yeah, he's kind of been everywhere. But I think it's interesting because normally when you think about like Japanese films, like wow, you think of Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. That's like what you think about. They call it like the Disney of Japan. But I feel like this guy needs more credit. Because as terms of maybe the animation isn't as shiny, you know what I'm talking about? Ghibli likes to do this shiny thing. But his animation feels real, feels really like there's like weight to it, you know what I mean? Like the way he his characters.
Ghibli's a little more polished, I'd say. This if the animation's maybe a little rougher in this, it's still very smooth and very well done, but it's not to the high like you said, Ghibli is the Disney of Japan. So obviously they're going to have the really high polish.
But I like these stories better than the Ghibli stories. I think the stories make more sense. I think they're more fleshed out.
They're a little more grounded.
Yeah.
There are fantastical elements, but every one of it, all 5 of his movies have some kind of element grounded in reality.
Yeah, but like ABC, we know what's going on. I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes I'm watching a Ghibli movie and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
what are the rules of the world of Spirited Away?
what's happening right now? Yeah. So I actually read an interview. Miyazaki had no plans when he was doing Spirited Away. He literally was just like sat down
and storyboarded as it went along,
animated it as it went along, and like he just like went with it. So to me, I feel like it explains a lot. And another thing I discovered is that this guy originally directed Howl's Moving Castle. So he was on that for 2 of the 3 years it was on. But after the second year, Studio Ghibli was so restrictive, and they were like, it needs to be how Miyazaki would do it. How would he do it? We want it this way. And eventually this guy was just like, man, fuck it, just make your own movie. I'm out.
Right?
You know, like, so now he has his own company.
So he's done the film. I don't know how many, if you guys have seen any of these. He's done Girl Left Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, Boy and the Beast, and one that actually got nominated for an Academy Award this year was Mirai. I'd only seen probably Summer Wars, and you and I watched Wolf Children last year.
Yeah, because I remember when Wolf Children came out, everyone was talking about it, and that was my first introduction to this guy. And you were like, "Oh," and I was like, "That looks like a Digimon," and you were like, "Oh, Summer Wars."
Yeah, it's like this art style looks really familiar. So it is, and I still haven't figured out if it's his art style or if it's like a character designer
sure
he just works
his.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so this last week we decided to like just marathon through all 5 of the movies. So I'd never seen Girls Left Through Time.
I had watched it last year. I don't know why. I just felt like watching it. I really like slice of life anime. So like I think you like more fantastical things.
And I feel like his movies are kind of a good balance of that. A lot of his stories, because like Girls Left Through Time is just, this average schoolgirl.
It's just a cute little adolescent story.
It's an adolescent story. She's going through her normal day, finds out she can reverse time. And so she starts using it just for dumb stuff.
Yeah, just dumb
like
shit.
Anytime
she's like, oh, my pudding was so good, I want to eat it again. So she just feel that.
She wants more time at a karaoke bar, so she just keeps rewinding time to keep doing it over and over again.
She wants to get her money's worth.
Right.
She was like, oh, what we had for dinner last night was so good, I wish we had that again.
Yeah.
She went back in time.
And Summer Wars is just like a little tiny romantic comedy about 2 kids with a misunderstanding of like, you pretend to be my boyfriend for a weekend. Turns into like this big cyber terrorist.
Summer Wars, I'm not gonna lie, is so fucking good. So good. If you guys are gonna watch anything, if you go home tonight, watch Summer Wars. It's so good. Like the animation is really like squirrely because the main character is really squirrely.
Yeah.
And it's like they go out to like this girl's like, hey, you want to come hang out with me and my family this summer? And he's like, okay. So they go hang out. But, like, the way they animate the family interactions, it's, like, if anyone, I don't know if you guys grew up with big families or anything, it's, like, so legit. It's, like, this dude knows what he's animating.
Right,
like,
right.
And even the way they talk to each other, it's just, like... So that was something I brought up the other night, was that, I don't know, a lot of times when I watch, like, anime or anything from Japan, I feel like sometimes the characters can seem kind of, like, one-dimensional and kind of stiff. Like, they're very cookie-cutter and very, like... proper, you know what I mean? Like very like like they're like, oh, PDA is, shit like that. It's like and like we went to Japan last year and it's very much like that. Even when you're there, the people are very like,
they're very proper, very polite,
repressed.
Yes, repressed is a good word.
So what I like about watching these movies is that these actually seem like real characters, real kids in the world. Like they're not afraid to like make a mess or like get dirt on their feet. Like, they just feel like real people, you know?
You were saying that, like, he doesn't have kids of his own.
He does now. But when he made Wolf Children, he didn't have kids.
And that's one of the things I want to give him credit for is that, like, with Wolf Children, especially when we watched Mirai the other night, he does so well with showing little children, like, little 3 or 4-year-olds, like, as they actually are.
Yeah, he just gets, like, the little twitchy kid movements and like the
when we were watching Mirai the other night, I loved how the little boy Ren just like the littlest thing would set him off. He would just have a tantrum over the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Like mom says, put your toys away. He just
He's
he throws a tantrum because of it.
Yeah. That's totally kids.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the whole story is basically about him dealing with a new baby sister that he got, and he's not getting the attention he is.
Yeah, he's super jealous.
Right, and it's just showing, like, that, but through a fantastical element, because there's a magic tree in his front yard.
So there's, like, a scene, there's, like, a scene where he's like, Mom, I really want a banana, but Mom's taking care of the baby, so his dad gives him the banana. He's like, no, Dad! Mom! I want toast! And the dad gives him toast. He's like, no!
That's totally how a little 3-year-old would react.
So it's cute, but...
I love that.
So, like, I'm a teacher, so, like, I just, the way...
You see this every day.
I see it, like, every single day, and so I just think the twitchiness of it. But when he did Wolf Children... So, maybe we should go back a little. I keep jumping around.
Sure, you're fine.
So Wolf Children was his third one. And has anyone ever seen that one? So it's really good. Oh, it made me cry. So there's, like, this scene where it's about this young girl and guy, and they fall in love, and then they end up having kids. And the guy ends up being, like, a werewolf, basically. It sounds dumber than it is.
It's not like an actual werewolf. He, like, turns into an actual dog.
It's like a shapeshifter or something.
Something like that.
And then there's, like, a super weird wolf sex scene, so it's, like, good times. But then they end up having kids, and the kids can turn into wolves and stuff. The whole movie is this mom trying to solve day-to-day problems with these children who are also wolves, and she's like, I don't know what to fucking do. Who do I tell about this? It's obviously... Do I go to the vet or the doctor when they're sick?
Right, because the dad's not around anymore, so it's like, there's no manual for raising werewolf children.
And so, and she's like, whoa! So, it's really sweet just kind of watching this mom. She's so effing strong, and that's another thing. He's got great, strong female characters.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so I could watch Wolf Children, like, every single day. But again, the way he animates it. So I was reading an article that... when he was working on Wolf Children, he didn't have kids yet, but he was saying how he was glad he didn't, because he feels like it could have came off, like, more angry.
Cynical.
Than sweet.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But now he has kids. So for Mirai, he said he modeled his son a bunch for the boy, and you can really see it.
Yeah.
So.
And especially with Mirai, I like... A lot of these movies kind of have... a family element, because with Summer Wars, you're visiting
big family
with the girl's big family that the main character is introduced to. Obviously, with the mom and her 2 kids,
which is funny because in most anime, my parents are abroad and I'm living alone, or mom died and it's just me.
Well, I mean that's part of the plot with Boy and the Beast is that it's this orphan kid. His parents, did they die?
Mom died and they had divorced, so dad
was out of the picture.
Was somewhere, and
so he ends up running away and finding a new family with these beast people in a beast world. And then with Mirai, I liked the element of this boy has this magic tree in his front yard that links him to is basically his family tree, and he's able to bounce around time, seeing his, like, great grandfather during the war, or seeing his mom as a child. And it's weird watching this little 4-year-old kid get perspective.
Yeah, I know. The whole time, because they're, like, trying to make him appreciate his family, and I'm like, dude, this is a 4-year-old, like...
He's not gonna hold on to any of this.
Like, this kid wants to go take a nap, like...
He's gonna forget this by 6.
Right, exactly. Like, so they're trying to teach him life lessons, like, don't be afraid, try new things, and this kid's just like, I shat my pants. Like, like... So, I think maybe if he was, like... I mean, like, it was really sweet, but... Maybe if he was, like, a little older, he would have probably understood it a little better, but it's just, I don't know. But it was sweet.
Yeah.
So, but let's go back to Boy and the Beast. We didn't talk about that one too much. So, Boy and the Beast, which is the one with this, like, Elvis bear guy.
He's a bear man.
So I had no idea what that movie was about.
I'd seen, like, commercials for it. It was supposed to be, like, one of the big films, like...
It was beautiful.
A couple years ago.
It was fucking gorgeous. So, yeah, this little boy runs away from home because he's like... You're not my dad. So he runs away from home because he doesn't want to live with his adopted parents or whoever.
I think it was like his mom's family that wanted to take him in.
Yeah, he hate you. He runs off and he's all emo and shit. And then I guess these animal beasts from this other realm can travel back and forth between the human and beast realm. But what makes them special is they can die and be reincarnated into gods.
Where humans can't.
Or humans cannot, which is why they separate the worlds. So this kid somehow manages to go to that world, and it's just kind of cool. So, again, just a lot of adolescent stories, I think. Just kind of So, and the whole movie is kind of a metaphor for the beast within, you know? The beast within you.
Right.
It's all good, man. It happens.
I also want to give this guy credit for just the choreography in his movies, especially between Beast Wars and... Beast Wars?
Beast Wars!
That's a 90s Transformers show.
Summer Beast.
Summer Wars and Boy and the Beast there's a lot of martial arts choreography that goes on. There's a fight early on in Boy and the Beast between this bear guy and another character I've dubbed as Pig Lion Jesus.
Straight up a Pig Lion Jesus in that movie.
Yeah, so he's like the main antagonist because it's between these two.
When they take off their clothes and they have fur abs, and I'm just like, hello?
Giving some, there's some feelings there.
Some emotions.
Wow. But watching this fight scene, basically going from a boxing match to a sword fight just seamlessly, I thought was really beautiful. And then especially in Summer Wars, where it's this fantastical running through a digital landscape, characters throwing houses and cars and stuff just in a void. Just watching these characters whip around.
Well, so you were saying Summer Wars was originally supposed to be a Digimon movie.
No.
Oh, just kidding.
So Hosoda directed Digimon Our War Game, which was like a 45-minute film. I think it was honestly paired with a One Piece film, because in Japan sometimes if a movie's not long enough they'll double feature it.
See, I didn't have Fox Kids.
So he directed that, and later on the Digimon movie that we got here in America is actually an amalgamation of 3 separate movies that were just linked together through voice they yada yada through some story bits to make them all link together. It's a hot mess. Don't watch it. Watch the Japanese ones. It makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
So years later, Summer Wars is a lot different about it, but there's a lot the same. I feel like he has this thing where characters will go into some kind of void.
Yeah, they enter the void.
They'll enter a void, and all the outlines will turn red. And it's kind of to signify this is a different world.
Yeah.
So he had that stylistic the style in Digimon, and it carried over to Summer Wars.
It is interesting. I never noticed that when they cross over into these other worlds, the outline turns red. But I don't think he ever uses black outlines, which I think is what kind of gives it that really soft color feel to it, because black can be kind of harsh.
Right. But basically, the Digimon movie that he did, it's about a computer virus being unleashed to the internet. It starts messing up every piece of electronics, and they have to go in, stop the virus before it launches a nuke.
Okay.
Summer Wars is about a virus that was thrown into the internet.
I see
fucks with all the internet stuff, and has to be stopped from launching a nuke.
It's cute, though. I don't know. So, yeah, the whole Summer Wars is all about, like, on their cell phones, they have this like, one and all app where you do everything on it. It's your email, and you have a little avatar, and you can talk to everyone.
So, you know the Oasis from Ready Player One?
Yeah,
basically
like that. So,
exactly, with magic whales named John and Yoko.
John and Yoko are the name of the whales. Isn't that fucking hilarious? I literally was like, we watched it last night, and I'd only seen it once before way long ago, and we were watching, and I was like, John and Yoko! That's great! So stupid. So
dumb.
How do they figure out their names are John and Yoko?
I guess the programmers named them or something.
It's tattooed on their chest. Yeah.
Whale noises?
I don't know, man.
Like John, whale noises.
Right,
John
yeah.
Whale noises.
They're like, our guardian angels, John and Yoko. And I was like, sure. I'm sure the rest of the Beatles thought that too.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, that's a really sweet one. So you're kind of going in and out from the virtual world into the real world, and it's just really cool. So big family ties.
But I do kind of want, the one criticism I do have of Summer Wars, it relies a lot on convenience.
Yeah, it's super convenient.
The giant rabbit man just happens to be a cousin of the girl.
That's the spoilers. These people haven't seen it. Anyway, yeah, they all end up being together.
A lot of the centralized characters' problem happen to just be in the same
right,
spot
and then at the very end, they're like, the world's gonna blow up, and the guy, like the one person in the entire universe that could help, it's like, I'm here, like, just happens to be in the same family, like.
Because of course he is.
So it's just like.
Don't worry, I did this at math.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, the one kid who can solve the impossible algorithm just happens to be under the same roof. So, whatever. I don't know. No, but we watched Mirai last night, and that's his most latest one, and I didn't like it as much as his other ones. I'd say it's probably the bottom of the list for me.
Yeah, and it's weird that's the one that got nominated for the
I know!
Oscar.
I'm like, we watched Boy and the Beast, and that was so good. And Wolf Children, I don't think got any recognition in the States.
I don't think any of them did.
But yeah, I mean, like, really, that's the first one that he's gotten Oscar recognition, which I'm shocked, really, because they nominate the weirdest things for animated films. But
yeah, I mean, not that I'm upset that Spider-Verse won. I'm very happy about that.
Oh fuck yeah, Spider-Verse.
Never seen all that's awesome. It won.
Yeah, won
Spider-Verse won the Oscar.
It outwon. We kept thinking Incredibles 2 was gonna win
because the Oscars just give it to Disney,
right? But fucking won, and now we're like, yo, represent.
And Wreck-It Ralph didn't win, so yeah, there you go.
And Wreck-It Ralph didn't win, which is great.
But yeah, I kind of agree that Mirai. It's a very cute film. It's very well done. It's very beautiful. The story kind of meanders a little bit.
I didn't like. Yeah, I had the story.
It's basically. It's not, but I would consider it just a series of vignettes.
Yeah, it's things that happen.
It's one thing. The boy goes out to the yard. It does the magic tree thing. His dog's spirit is now a human, and he can talk to him.
Yeah, and then that's over, and then the next time his sister comes back from the future, and then that's over, and then the next time it's like it's really random each time. But it's called Mirai because his sister's name is Mirai. So I thought the whole film was going to be about his sister coming back from the future to like interact with him.
Well, I think the reason it's named Mirai is because the entire movie is him learning to accept and love his new sister, Mirai, which I guess means future.
Yeah,
they told
us that in the movie.
Title's a pun.
Thank God.
right.
Thank God. You gotta explain shit to me.
So yeah, it's about their relationship and learning what it means to have responsibility as an older sibling, even at that young of an age.
So the same guy directed all these, and he did animation too, which I discovered he actually majored in oil painting in college.
Oh.
So then he's just an animator. He's like, whatever. I guess that's what to do.
Applied skill, everybody.
Yeah. So he animates obviously some of the parts, some of the twitchier aspects of the characters, and then directs them, obviously. So, and I thought, I just really like comparing, and I was reading the articles about his time at Ghibli, and I guess it was just so stressful and just really confined.
I feel like it would be.
Yeah, I kept reading about how horrible of a work environment was because everyone wanted it done a very specific way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about Miyazaki and how he leads, because I hear he's just really like, once it's done his
slave
way.
driver.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it is with all big corporations.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Who knows,
I'm sure
man.
Disney and Pixar are any
That's
better.
We've all.
They start having a house style for all
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like we have so many. We got to make it sure it fits in that style because that's what everyone expects.
So then he ended up opening his own company because he wanted to create these films the way he wanted to create them, and I think you can really feel that in his work. You can really feel the heart in them.
They do feel really personal.
Very personal. Yeah.
With Ghibli films, a lot of them rely. I feel like
not to trash Ghibli.
No, Ghibli has beautiful films. They're very nice.
Yeah.
But
I love me some Kiki.
But sometimes I feel like Ghibli leans too hard into fantastical.
Yeah. Well, I think they spend so much time on this amazing art, and they're like, "Look at our art. We're amazing." And they gotta show it off, and then the story's like,
it's okay.
A couple loop-de-loops,
I still like House Moving Castle. It does meander a little bit.
Was Ghibli the studio for Princess Mononoke?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was my first exposure to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kiki was mine, and then he also did Ponyo, and fucking Ponyo is like so all over the place that I can't
Ponyo's
even.
kind of a scribbly mess.
Isn't that the one that's basically Alice in Wonderland?
That's the one
Mermaid.
based Little Mermaid.
There's
that's
Yeah.
Ponyo was the first movie I watched.
Oh, did you like it?
It was basically like, it was the plot of Taken.
Oh, really?
It has Liam Neeson in the English dub.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Liam Neeson's voice does the English dub.
He's Ocean Dad.
One of the Jonas Brothers
in
is.
art class.
Shit, yeah, nice.
Liam Neeson, like, the father character comes up.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson starts talking.
No, Ponyo is effing gorgeous too.
Is that Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
Right.
Also, like, sometimes Ghibli movies are like 3 hours long, and you're like, oh, But these ones I don't think past 2 hours, right?
If they're hitting 2 hours, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I feel like these ones kind of breeze through pretty easily. And I think it's because of the grounded nature of it. You kind of get they're cozy films.
They are cozy. That's a good way to put it.
Cozy is a good word.
That's a great word. Cozy, and this is perfect weather to watch one of their movies.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, but I don't know what else do you want to say.
I like his movies,
Yeah.
and I keep I always try to keep an eye out for when he has new things. Like when I saw that Mirai was up for an Academy Award, I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see it in theaters though.
No, so I had to watch it in Japanese. I couldn't find an English dub for it, but whatever.
Yeah, Boy and the Beast was like, I don't know. I felt like Boy and the Beast was kind of the black sheep of the bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, only because because it's the first time that like non-human characters are essential.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like, it's a little more like, you know what I mean?
About being a man.
Yeah, being a man.
Make a big, strong man.
The other ones are more like, kind of like slice of lifey, but this one's a little bit more like...
I think it starts to dip more into Ghibli territory a little bit.
But it still starts out, you know the basic plot. Like, one of the monsters wants to become the new leader, and that's kind of like... Okay, so you're following that kind of story the whole time. So it's kind of like you know where it's going to go. Mm-hmm. And so that was nice. I like when stories have a story. You know, I don't like watching... You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to watch something that's just something happened. That's what kind of Mirai was. Mm-hmm. Things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in Michael Moorcock's 3-day novel thing, one of the things he even says is, when you have action or whatever scene, just make sure it's advancing the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's...
Not there just to be a backdrop.
Right. And that's his feeling on, like, musicals.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Disney sometimes, is that in a lot of animated musicals, I feel like sometimes musicals just kind of are there to fill time.
I fucking love musicals.
I don't think I Can't Wait to Be King advances the plot at all. I think it stretches...
But it develops the character.
It stretches 1 point out into 2.5 minutes.
But now we know Simba really wants to be king.
I already knew that.
I know that about him.
I knew that 2 minutes ago.
That entire song could be summed up in one line.
Exactly.
No, man. And then they got a fucking...
Right.
And then they mess with Zazu, so you know that these kids are kind of tricksters. You know what I'm saying? You know
I could sum that
watch these kids.
I could mess that song down to 30 seconds.
There was a deleted song in Aladdin called "Humiliate the Boy" once Jafar gets the lamp.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Humiliate the boy.
Yeah, he's even got a...
That's my life.
Gives a few lyrics that seem to give some background information on Jafar and where he came from.
Oh, that's kind of cool. See? That would have been neat. Yeah, and there was another song, like forever, I watched probably on like the deleted scenes where like Aladdin was originally supposed to have a mom, and he was singing a song called "Proud of Your Boy," but they obviously cut it all out. But it would have given us a little bit more about Aladdin. So anyway,
Disney film. He's not allowed to have a mom.
Yeah, Disney.
Right. Parents don't exist in Disney.
Yeah, who's a parent? What's a parent? Right. Well, the same thing with anime, right? They kill off all the parents.
It's a Disney film. They either have a tragic backstory or no backstory.
Exactly, yeah. So in terms of his films, I guess which one would you say is your favorite?
Oh man, I don't know. I would. It's between Summer Wars and Wolf Children because, like, I love the big family aspect in Summer Wars because I come from like a big family where like eating dinner together was always a really big, deal and tradition, and celebrating birthdays, and just the way they capture all the aunts and uncles coming together. I love that because it's very warm. It's very like personal. And I love Wolf Children because it's so cute. And it's kind of lovey. It's kind of a love story, which, I like. But at the base of its core, it's just about a strong woman and how far a mother will go for her children. And I think that's important, especially in a lot of Japanese culture. Women can be kind of demeaned, and I think
it's demeaned, or they're like, especially if it's in a mother role, it's more of a support role rather than like a main focus.
Where they're just like, here's your dinner. Like, did you vacuum? I'm fucking saying? Like, you watch an anime and it's just like, have a great day at school. And then she's just like dusting, wearing her apron and shit. And like, didn't you go to college? Like,
it's the mom during Tanya.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, oh, why don't you go get a job? Like, okay. And even in Mirai, there's a scene where the mom goes back to work and the dad stays home. And I was saying to him, I was like, damn, that's pretty
progressive
for Japan shit. Yeah. Like, because in Japan, they're actually facing they're
having a birth
baby
problem.
crisis because the women are like, I want to go to work, fuck you, so.
There's even something in the news recently with medical school admitting that they were altering test scores for the women.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. And then...
I just want rights.
Right, pretty much, right. So, yeah.
Right,
yeah. So, I like Mirai. I mean, I like Wolf Children.
Yeah.
right.
I probably have to still, after finally, like, watching his entire filmography, I think Summer Wars is still my favorite. Only because I like that it's a balance between the stupid shonen action that I like.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a scene of two dudes punching each other for about 5 minutes. I'm good. Which, there's plenty of that.
You gotta have in the smoke effect, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The smoke effects, things exploding. I'm fine with that.
Right.
But I also like it's counterbalanced with this kind of like somber, out in the country, this big family getting together for their grandma's birthday, the slice of life thing. So I like that the movie is a very balance between that, and I think it does a good job of balancing it because it's like it never stays too long on one part. It's like just when you're getting a little like sleepy,
bored, yeah.
When you're getting a little sleepy from the family aspect, it jumps back into the internet part where the little monster avatars are running around.
Yeah. The character designs are awesome.
I want to know whose job it was to like design little avatars in Summer Wars because there's like billions of them.
I was saying to him last night, I was like, why doesn't something like this exist in like actual apps like this? Because I would be all over that.
They showed you why it doesn't. Because one internet virus will collapse the entire system.
Yeah, so there's a part where they're like, the governments have hooked up into this app, and I'm like, what government? I'm sorry, is going to plug in their Facebook info? Like, come on.
I don't know. Google might be onto something.
God,
they might be up to something right now.
Jeez. So our tops are
Cyberpunk.
Right. Yeah.
But I think Girl Left Through Time, I think is a good.
It's really good.
It's a good starter.
Yeah.
It's a very light, very quick kind of.
The ending, I think, is confusing though. I think it kind of really rushes the gun at the end. Is that the right term I want?
Yeah.
Jumps the gun.
Jump the gun. Yeah, it kind of rushes to an explanation, a very vital explanation.
It's just kind of all of a sudden, like, the last 10 minutes are like, this is why you could travel through time. The end. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I guess it's based off a book, so I guess we can't blame him too hard.
You gotta go with whatever the author had. But
yeah,
I think I really enjoy this guy's movie. I think they're very grounded films that really can get you invested. And they never really overstay their welcome.
Yeah, and they're good. And it's like sometimes you don't want to watch an entire series of something to just fall in love with the character or story. You just want to sit through something and then go to bed, and then not have to worry about it updating next week, So I think these are really great for that. It's a good binge thing to watch.
Yeah.
They're really funny.
Yeah. And if you haven't watched any of this, I would highly encourage to watch these, especially if you are a fan of Ghibli. These can kind of give you a different perspective, I guess. And
they, and each one, it kind of just depends on what you like. Do you like more like realistic slice of life? Then you would probably like Wolf Children. Do you like the more...
If you're more into the action, you said Wars of Boy and the Beast.
Interesting to me.
Yeah. It kicks ass. Watch it. It's so good. I could probably watch some... What?
Some Wars were so good, it had me reaching for the
Love Machine. And Yoko.
He's a beast,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's a beast. Love Machine. Yeah, it's fucking good. I could probably watch Summer Wars every day and still not get bored because there's so much to look at. So
it's got that teen romance you love so much.
I do love teen romance. So what can I say? I'm a product of my generation, eh?
I like what you were saying about the avatars in Summer Wars, how there's so many, and you watch it a second or third time. And you start matching the avatar.
I did like that, watching like you can find when the family starts popping up, finding which avatar matches up with them. Like one's like a kangaroo fireman, one's a pill because he's a doctor.
And then there's like a point where the main character has to have a new avatar, and it's a squirrel. Because he's really squirrely. Like, he's a squirrely dude. Like, so it's just cute, And he was just like, why the fuck am I a squirrel? And I'm like, bitch, you know why you a squirrel. Like...
And the big cool rabbit guy?
Yeah.
Not the main person.
Yeah, no spoilers. Because he's got to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers.
But the rabbit is pretty sweet.
But you'll see what we talk about when we say this very convenient under one roof.
Yes.
It all comes together.
So is there anything you wanted to...
I don't think so.
Okay.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah, we got a little bit of time, so if you guys just want to shoot the shit, or...
Do you have anything you want to share about the movies, or...
If not, okay.
You guys sound like you've seen Summer Wars. Have you seen any of his other ones?
I think we've seen like 4.
Nice. Which ones?
Probably the first ones. I know
Yeah.
we haven't seen the most recent.
Yeah, Mariah, I don't think he's out on DVD here yet. We had to...
Yeah, we had to come up with creative ways to find it.
Had fun
This
with...
is the one with the mustachioed werewolf.
That's Boy and the Beast.
Yeah, man, he's got his fur abs straight up.
I gotta say, just the profile look for him
Dude,
amuses me.
scruffy sexy man, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
How could you not get interested?
And he's like super tsundere. Yeah. So it's not like I care about you, kid. Psh. Right? So,
Whatever.
yeah,
So
whatever.
for Boy and the Beast, I'll just say there's basically gay dads.
So there's like 3 gay dads. It was so funny. He was sitting there, we were watching it. He was like, okay, that's the rough dad.
That's Butch dad, that's Femme dad, and that's the gay uncle.
Yeah. And they all work together. And there's like this pig character, and he like doesn't even like live with these guys, but he's always around.
Yeah, like in the beginning of Boy and the Beast, the little boy gets into the beast world and just runs into this monk, this
Randomly.
pig monk, and he's like, "Oh, you're lost, whatever." He just follows him for the rest of the movie.
Constantly.
Dude, he just randomly ran
6
into.
years down the road, we're like, why is he
He's
still
still here.
here? Aren't you like supposed to
They're
be
just friends
training
now.
or something? Like,
Didn't you live in a temple
Yeah.
or something?
well, and then at the end, the kid's like, thanks for raising me. And then all 3 of them are like
Got you, bro.
got you. Like,
So proud of my
right.
human son.
My human kid, yeah, what's up? So, but then there's like, so if you're into like the sexy scruff bear dude, wait till you see sexy scruff pig Jesus dude.
I love Pig
Ah.
Jesus.
Big Jesus.
Pig Jesus.
Pig Jesus.
There's a whole scene where they both take off their shirts and then they just go at it, and I'm like, wow.
And then they like do the Super Saiyan growl, and then they
I'll
like
tell
get
you
more
what.
buff.
Yeah, well, then they get like huge.
Popeye moment.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm not into furries, but whoa. You put abs on anything, and I'll be all up in there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Which one was your favorite out of the ones you've seen?
Some more.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
I
sure.
think we stumbled on it. It was just like at the video store.
Oh, uh-huh.
I'm gonna buy this. I hope it's good.
And you were like, jackpot.
Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised. What's up? I like the music in all of his movies, too. He's always got like a pianist. I don't know, but it's delightful. Yeah.
Piano.
Yeah, no way. So,
That's how it is with video stores and finding anime. It's either really good or really horrible.
Yeah.
It's kind of hit or miss,
there
but
used to be a video store here in town called Video Spectrum, and it's long since gone. But that was where I would go rent all my like Nintendo 64 games and VHSs and everything. But they had a section way in the back corner that was 18 up, and it was just a fuck ton of hentai. Like, just straight up. But I rented one once.
You can get that stuff for free now.
I know! What world do we
this
live
is
in?
back in the day of dial-up.
My parents were like, okay, cartoon, she likes that Japanese shit.
There's
I was
a 18
awakened.
plus.
I was awakened that day.
Feeling stirred.
They missed the 18 plus sign.
Maybe I was just sneaking. Maybe I was just like, And it was like the straight up really like cliche stuff with like the tentacles and shit. Like, of course, you know, just like
Cliche hentai.
super, super huge tits. But
They're like huge. But
like, yeah. Just like,
Causing issues with balance.
Right.
you should be falling.
dude, let me tell you, you probably, like back pain, right? You know? Don't even get me started on fucking back pain with your titties. God, heaven. Next time you watch an anime, I want you to think about these poor high school girls. And they probably have to like ice their backs at night because that shit is so hard. Like,
You in a wheelchair by the time
yes,
you're 30.
yes, they're like
man.
falling over. And then by the time they're 30, their tits are like down to their knees, like
Is it the curse at this
just
point?
like
Right.
They're
yeah,
getting up in the morning
Yeah.
and tripping over.
right, big old veins on their tits, like.
I don't think there's sagging in anime. I don't think.
Oh no, yeah, that's true because you can watch that hentai with like the mom or whatever, mom next door or whatever,
Oh god.
and she's like, "Wow!"
Eternally furry.
Penny's taking a turn.
I'm sorry, yeah. These are such wholesome movies. I don't know what happened.
It should have like support.
Yes, and you gotta put like metal rods under your tits to like support it. Like, Bras don't work anymore.
Little wheel.
Yeah, little shelf. I like that. Just a shelf straight up, like. And then you're like undressing to get intimate, and the dude is just like, "Is that a shelf?"
He's like, bro, there's a shelf on your neck.
Right.
Like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry everybody.
Yeah. So, if no one else has any questions, no. Okay.
I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep. So, thank you all for coming
Thank
to our
you
first
for
ever
being
live
our audience.
show. I really appreciate everyone coming
Check us
out.
out on YouTube.
Yes, we have Facebook, we have Twitter,
We need
all
followers.
of our episodes are up on YouTube. Like I said, we cover
Support the
little
love.
everything, old and new, Western and anime. I encourage
Yeah.
you all to check that out.
Check out the Valentine's episode. There's way more
Which one? I have a couple.
way more booby talks.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thanks,
Have a good day
guys.
at the con. And
Oh, he wants to.
yes, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can catch a new episode every week. Also be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter so you can keep up with the show. Links are in the description. We'll see you next week.